Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while. It's Noah with No&Co. Just hanging out here. I've been pretty busy lately, but today I am not so busy. So I figured I'd film a Songs of the Week, which I know it's been a few weeks, so I do have a special part at the end of the video if you want to stay tuned for that. But let's jump right into it. Sunday last week, February 2nd, I dove back into a artist I've loved for a long time and really been in tune with since high school and always interested in to hear what he drops. Aminé, Doctor Whoever, off of his 1.5 album that came out in 2018. Aminé does this kind of really cool thing with his intros, at least what it seems like with most of his intros. These intros really feel like check-ins with Aminé, where he kind of tells his story about what's going on about with his life and what's going on in whatever the aspect is and everything else. And Doctor Whoever may be just one of my favorite of these check-in intros, where it's really well written and the second half of the song switches up to a super fun head bopping song that I can't get enough of most of the time. It's really cool when an artist can do this and do it well, as it doesn't come off as corny or weird or anything like that. In fact, it's a lot of fun and it's really cool to hear where his head's at as an artist, even though as fans we don't need to know those things. Jumping into Monday, we had Friendly Hallucinations by Mac Miller off of his last album Balloonerism, and I know I talked about this in my last Mac video, how I said this was one of my most repeated tracks on the album. It still is. It's maybe my favorite track on this album, coming down to the wire of picking those favorite tracks in my head, and this might be one of them. I love that sick bass line. While I know Thundercat is all over this album, this might be my favorite Thundercat performance on the album. And it's such a fat bass line, and I just can't get enough of it. And this concept of escapism that Mac tends to keep diving into on plenty of tracks on this record, this idea of escapism really shines the brightest to me in this song, and it's just one that just stays on repeat throughout last week and this week and ever since this Balloonerism album has dropped, when I can't get out of my head. But diving into Tuesday, I have The Old Guard is Dead by ghais Guevara. And just wow, ghais Guevara, I had just figured out with this song. This song had dropped as a single for his new album that came out about a week ago. And this is just an incredible artist that I don't know how I haven't heard of yet. He's right up my alley. He was placed on the New to You page on Apple Music, and I'm super thankful for that because now I have albums to go back to that he's been dropping since I want to say like 2019 that I've been in the midst of listening to, because it's just kind of my new obsession right now. This song though, "The Old Guard is Dead," is so anthemic and it just sounds huge with its production and the vocals and the rapping and his energetic flow that he brings just adds to that anthemicness. And also what he's rapping about adds to it too. He's rapping about where he came from in life, that is, and how it's not been all sunshine and rainbows, but how he's taken all these negatives and turned them into what he has today and turned them into something positive, and how good he feels about himself. And you can definitely feel it in this song. It's one that I love, and I've been loving going through his discography the last few weeks. It's just been insane. If you like anything, if you haven't heard of him before, and you like people like JPEG Mafia or Red Veil or anything kind of in that left field hip hop, you definitely love this, and you should check out ghais Guevara. But diving into Wednesday, I had Peach Cobbler by Navy Blue. This is a song that always seems to pop back into my rotation after a few months. I'll listen to it for a few months and then not, and then pop back in. But it's in that same vein of that Navy Blue, Mike, and Earl Sweatshirt, all these guys that I always am listening to at least one of them. I think in my last Songs of the Week video, I had a Mike song in there, and one of these artists always has a song in my Songs of the Week, you'll find, because I don't know, they speak to me and it's very calming and chill, and it's a It's a type of rap that I can listen to really at any time of the day and any point in my life. It's not one I have to be in a specific mood for or want to get in a specific mood for. It's a super calming and smooth song. It's one that really makes you step back and take that deep breath and be where you are. I guess you could say Navy bounces back and forth in this minute and a half verse about him reminiscing on times of him growing up, but also tying into what those things have grown into now and how he's had to evolve with all these things that he is reminiscing on and how it's shaped the way his life is now. And it's super easy listen on the ears and a great way to start a morning. And I've started plenty of mornings with this song. It's just that earbug song that doesn't seem to get out of my head really ever, and it's such a good listen. One I'll always be going back to probably for the rest of time. Jumping into Thursday though, I had Slug by Matt Champion off of his last album and his first album, actually solo album, Mika's Laundry, that came out last year. Matt Champion of Brockhampton fame. I think this album got kind of overlooked by a lot of people just because this is Matt's first ever solo album out of Brockhampton, if you've ever heard of the group of Brockhampton. And it, as Matt was one of the most rap centric guys in this group, this album is not that rap centric and not something I think people were expecting from a Matt Champion solo album. I was really pleased with it, and I had a lot of fun listening to this album last year. And Slug was in my most listened to songs of 2024 in that top 100 list they give you. It was in there in the top 25, I want to say. It's a super fun song, and like I said, not rap centric at all. He's actually bringing these kind of bright chords and almost 80s sounding synth pop is something you wouldn't expect, and these vocals that are raspy yet soothing on the verses. And he's got honestly a pretty good singing voice that I'm surprised we hadn't heard in Brockhampton very much. That on the chorus, it seems like he's trying to hit the highest note he's ever hit before, and it's pretty entertaining and always gets me with a smile on my face and dancing around and just having fun. If you haven't heard this album, you should really check this out. This album kind of goes everywhere. He's got a little bit of like Injury Reserve, JPEG Mafia in a song. He's got a little bit of like a 80s pop sounding synth song, like I said, with Slug, and then he's got a little bit of breakcore in another song. He's got singer songwriter stuff. It's a really interesting listen that I wasn't expecting Matt to go in this direction, but pleased with it nonetheless, and can't wait for another album, another solo album from him, as I think he's my favorite member from Brockhampton, if not tied for first with Kevin Abstract. But jumping into my next song, I had A Boy is a Gun by Tyler the Creator, which, in my opinion, is the highlight, maybe the biggest highlight off of Igor for me. It is just such a great song in many aspects, and one of those aspects being the production. The production is insane with the piano melodies that are just so infectious and the famous Tyler chords that he can't seem to go anywhere without. And Tyler really knows how to put you in a place with a song. It's really special when an artist can do that, when they can put you in the place of where they want your head to be when listening to the song or things along that nature. And then adding to that production, there's that 70s soul sample that is repeated throughout the whole song that just gets stuck in your head, and really that chef's kiss to the rest of the production. But not only the production, I think the even bigger highlight on this song is the songwriting. I think this is one of Tyler's best songwriting showcases that he has, as he writes and raps and sings about this relationship that he has with, not confirmed, but what's assumed to be another guy who he's in love with and wants to connect with on a deeper level, but this guy doesn't seem to want to come out as gay and is hiding it from other people in his life. And Tyler just wants him to be open with everybody and doesn't want to have to hide anything anymore. And it's driving Tyler crazy. And it's a really, really interesting song concept, and one that Tyler does so incredibly well, that even well enough to the point where you can listen to this song and not even think about this specific story or not even think about what it has to do with his life or the artist's life in general, and relate to it in your own way and apply it to your own issues and problems that you're having, or whatever that may be. Even not relate to it at all and just listen to this song and realize how great of a song it is. It's just so well written, and I can't express that enough. That's just why it's the biggest highlight on Igor for me, and I can't get enough of it when I go back to Igor ever. Jumping into the last song though, I have On the Level by Mac DeMarco. Every time I've sat down and kind of relaxed in the last week or so and taken my mind off things, I've really only been listening to Mac DeMarco when that's the case, and it's pretty interesting. I hadn't gone back to Mac DeMarco like this in a long time, where I'm just kind of so into a lot of his different records, but mainly the record My Old Dog, which I hadn't listened to a lot of those songs in a really long time. This song sticks out to me on the album for a couple different reasons as well, just because this repeated synth that goes on throughout the whole album and cuts out in some of the verses but comes back for the chorus. It just sticks in my head all day. I can hear it as I walk anywhere or drive anywhere, even if it's not on, I can hear that synth. But also for the other reason of Mac dives into the themes of a relationship with his father, and as he grows older, what that relationship looks like and what it's done for him and what it looks like on him, and just these really interesting concepts about that relationship. And this song delves into those themes deeper, as the first verse seems to be written from the perspective of his dad talking to him, which is super interesting to hear, and I think one of the best portrays you get of this theme. And I just really can't get enough of Mac DeMarco, honestly, recently, as I said, and this song is a super interesting one, and it's that synth loop that just stays in my head and keeps me to come back every single time. That was all my songs for the week, but I do have a little bit, because it's been more than a week. I have more than just those songs for the week. I just have a few honorable mentions. I'm not really going to go into anything about them, but just because it's been a few more weeks, I've had more than just the songs from last week. I have Drink That by Thundercat with Wiz Khalifa, which is just a super slow, fun jam that you can get spaced out to and really chill to. I think I was in the Thundercat mood because of that Mac Miller album that came out, and I heard all those Thundercat bass lines. I went back to some Thundercat stuff and not disappointed. Never really am with him. But and then I have Man in the Mirror by Mike. Like I said with Navy Blue, Mike's always kind of in there too. But Mike just dropped a new album this past week, and Man in the Mirror is my favorite off it so far. I've been listening to it a lot, so I decided to throw that in there. December 24 by Earl Sweatshirt, off of some rap songs, which is one of his most beloved albums and one of my favorite albums from him, and just a really good song, and nothing more I can say about that. I've been going back to that era of Earl Sweatshirt a lot recently. And then I got 435 by Tyler the Creator, a single, a Lucy, that came out in 2019, I want to say. Just a super cool verse, and him being super cocky and just having fun, and that's just been on repeat recently. One of my favorite Lucy's from him. And then I have I Ben by Larry June, 2 Chainz, and The Alchemist off their newest project. That is luxury rap kind of at its finest, and love me some Larry June. When Larry June and The Alchemist link up, it's pretty special stuff, and to throw 2 Chainz in the mix this time is pretty cool. And I Ben is a really fun track to listen to, and one I've been getting up on recently. But those are my honorable mentions from the last couple weeks that could have slid into any day that's slotted here, but this is just last week specifically what I was thinking. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been Noah with No&Co. I'll be back soon with another video. I think I have something with actually another person, one of my friends, cooking up here soon, which should be a fun video to film and post. Just figured I'd pop into songs of the week because I haven't been around in a minute and I'm not super busy today, so I figured I could film this, edit it, get it up quick. Hope you guys stayed to the end, heard and enjoyed the music I listened to. If you haven't heard it, maybe go check out the singles. What were your songs of the week? Maybe leave them down below. I'll check them out. Maybe they'll be my songs of the week next time. And I'll talk to you soon and see you later. Peace.